Okay, so good evening all. I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay, great. Thank you, Abhijit. Okay, so we can start our webinar. So hello everyone and welcome to our webinar on OPSEC on high seas, a Gophish adventure. I'm Nandini Bharadwaj, the operating officer at Cyber Warfare Labs, and I'm really excited to have you all with here today. So let's move on to next slide. Okay, so let me introduce CW Labs to you. So, CW Labs is basically committed to addressing a cybersecurity challenges with real-time hands-on solution. A virtual platform allow user to refine their skills through plug-and-play practical labs, a diverse range of certification courses. So our company offer has the company has two main divisions, that is Cyber Range Labs and the second one is Upscaling Platform. So the Cyber Range Labs, this division focus on providing practical real-time solution to cybersecurity challenges. They offer a virtual platform where user can engage in hands-on training through practical labs that are ready to use. And then our next, the second division is upscaling platform. So cyber warfare labs offer a wide range of on-demand courses designed for individual at all skills level. Their instructor-led training service are available to educational institute, government agencies, and cooperation organization, as well as the candidates. So it is both online and offline training. Okay. And you can see here, it's our the cyber range lab structure, which consists of blue team, red team, and purple team. Okay, so let's move on to next slide. So before we dive into our main topic, introduce our speaker of today's webinar, that is Abhijit Kumar. So Abhijit Kumar is a red team intern at Cyber Warfare Labs. He focuses on red team operation, network security, cloud infrastructure, and Linux system. His passion lies in researching adversarial TTPs and conducting experiment in his home lab. So if you have any question related to any topic, feel free to ask at the end of the webinar, or else you can type them into the question box in the go to webinar text box. And also we will be sharing you the attendance certificate within the 48 hours and video recording for the same if you miss it. So, that's it. And from here, without further ado, I would like Abhijit to take over and let's get started. So, I hope you will enjoy today's webinar. Thank you. Thank you all.
Okay. Can you see the screen?
Yeah, Abhijit.
Okay. So before starting, this is a little disclaimer. So we are providing this content for the educational purpose only, and we will not be hold liable for any misuse of the information that is provided here. So please always stay within the limits and be ethical. So go fish. For the longest time, when I was studying pen testing or doing offensive operations, what I used to do is I used to do wget, curl, or even browsers to pull up the binaries for the tools and frameworks or Gophish, Avalanche Next, and stuff like that. And it worked for the longest period of time. However, when I moved into the red teaming and defensive stuff, I realized that although my approach was very good, it was not foolproof. And that was because most of these tools they have some unique artifacts, and these artifacts are embedded within the binaries s- so that to prevent the misuse by the script kiddies or someone who is just wanting to take a go at it. And this is something that is present in majority of the tools that we use, some default signatures so as to identify. And let's move on to Gophish. So Gophish is a very good tool for emulating the phishing scenarios. And the best part of this tool is that it's written in Go language, which is very easy to read and follow. And even if you are not familiar with the Go, but you know at least one language, be it Python, Java, C, C++, and whatnot, you will be able to follow the code very easily. Anyways, one important thing I want to say is during the course of this webinar, we will not be diving into uh, how to conduct a GoFish simulation, how to conduct a phishing engagement, and whatnot. So we will not be looking into this particular type of stuff. And that is because when I was doing this research, what I discovered was that there are large number of websites, YouTube tutorials, blog posts that cover this topic in broad, like from A to Z. They cover how to set up GoFish, how to conduct phishing, and stuff like that. However, I can count on the fingers of my one single hand the number of blogs that I discovered that cover this particular OPSEC or modifying GoFish, this kind of stuff. So if you are looking for how to conduct GoFish engagements, I will recommend couple resources to you. So on our cyber warfare lab channels, we have a couple videos detailing the GoFish and the C2 infra that will be combining with it. And apart from that, if you look into the black information security, there is a very good webinar there as well, where you will see how to set up the GoFish infra with the domain fronting. So combined with these three videos, and there are various blogs, so you will be very good to go on that front. All right. So since we have already discussed that most of these binaries, they have some inbuilt unique artifacts to prevent the misuse, and this particular GoFish is also full of these sort of signatures. And if you are just using a vanilla version of GoFish, like you are simply downloading it, the binaries from the GitHub, and using it, and you are sending a campaign, so it will be very easily detected, and your domain will be burned. And we will just see how uh, we can prevent these scenarios. So anyways, so throughout the course of this webinar, we will see some of the signatures that are present in the GoFish, and how we can remove these signatures or prevent the blue team from discovering our GoFish server or GoFish campaign. And these are some of the artifacts of interest that we will be looking into it, that we will be looking into. First is the server name, then port, then testing email, some default headers, and one unique parameter, and then by default certificates, and one error page. So first artifact we will be looking into is the server name. So whenever you are doing a vanilla GoFish, so your server will be uniquely marked with a name, and this name is by default set at as GoFish, and this is present in this config directory under the file config.go. On line number 46, you can see this, and this particular server name is referenced 8 times throughout the whole GoFish project. And what you can do in this scenario is you can set it to something that is inconspicuous, like something, let's say Ubuntu server or desktop EBCD, or you can set it to anything like null, anything like that is your that will depend on your threat model. What is your threat model? And you will decide the name according to that particular, or you can even set it as something like if you are let's say doing it in your internal environment and you are testing your internal blue teams, so you can like set it at as something like SMTP server or proxy server, like whatever you want. And the next stuff is the admin port. So whenever we are starting the vanilla version of Gophish, there is a default configuration which will start it at port 3333. And this is very similar to if you have ever used the Cobalt Strike. So the team server by default listens on port 50,050, and that is something that is researched a lot by the threat researchers and the blue teams. And this is very true for the Go fish. Although there is one small caveat that by default, this server listens on your local host. So no one outside of your server will be able to see this particular port, whether it's open or not. However, there might be some scenarios where you want to share access to this particular port, this particular Gofish server. But if you are running it in the cloud, you may not want to share the full server access, like full keys and stuff. So in that case, you can open it to the world, but you can restrict it using some IPs. You can, if it's AWS, you can configure security groups and you can configure some IPs which will be able to access the server. Furthermore, what you can do is you can put some redirectors in front of it, like Nginx server or Apache server or any custom proxy, like whatever it's depending on your C2 infra and your internal operations. Anyways, so this is referred in two particular files, and first is the config.json, which is in your Gofish main directory, and second it's referred in config underscore test.go, which is under your config directory, Gofish slash config, and this file. So to prevent this particular sort of scenario, and it happens a lot. Look, so I'll share something. So when I was initially doing my Gofish engagements and I was running Gofish, learning about it, what I used to do is like I used to open it on port 0000, and then I used to access it using my web browser using the public IP, and that is something used to work, but still like that's a big no, like personally, I will never be doing that. So a better solution for this particular sort of scenario is we can use the SSH port forward. And this here is, if you can see my cursor, I'm not sure if you can see. So anyways, in the end, you can see one command, that is SSH dash capital L local address. So this is how you can um, set up port forward, and using this port forward you can access it on your local machine without exposing the Gofish server to the whole world. So this is something you should do instead of opening on the internet. But anyways, moving ahead, and this is one of the very interesting thing, and I'll share why. Like by default, like when you have set up your domains, your campaigns, and you might want to test the campaigns, like whether the Gofish setup, is it working perfectly, is it sending the mails, is it um, able to like communicate with the SMTP servers and whatnot. So in this case, what we do is we send a test mail, and this default test mail, it basically says, hey man, I'm Gofish, catch me. And this is something that is a very huge red flag, and it can lead to the burning of your domain. So let's see. So this is the default message, and let me see if I can get a pen. Okay, okay, not pen, just a minute. Spotted already. So this is the default text, and it is basically saying, hey, it works, and I am Gofish. So let's imagine one particular scenario when the organization or the internal teams which we want to test for, they are using Google Workspace or Outlook O65, O365, and we want to test whether this setup is working or not. And we just set up our domains and stuff. We configured our settings and we send a test mail. So now, whichever provider we are sending this to, be it Gmail or be it Google Workspace or be it like any testing domain. So basically, the provider now knows that the email is this domain which sent this email. It is used for phishing engagements with the Gophish, and it is kind of a very huge red flag. And that is because these organizations, be it Outlook or be it Google, they have become very strict regarding the phishing engagements and scams and all these stuff. So they have um, stricken the policies, they have modified the rules, they have built signatures, they have analysts looking over this sort of stuff, they have AI systems now watching over this sort of anomalies. And if we do this, our domain is sure to be burned anyways. So in this case, if we have to test it, what we want to do is we want to do something inconspicuous like test mail or like something that is we have to design, that is to be custom built. Whatever message we are trying to send, whatever attachments or whatever, however we want to test this setup, we have to do it very stealthy, like not saying that okay, I'm Gophish, like that is something that could land in a bit of pickle. Anyways, moving on, default headers, and this is something that is embedded into Gophish at a very deep level. And headers these headers are basically screaming, hey, I'm Gophish. And there are a lot of these headers, like we have X mailer, we have X Gophish, X contact Gophish, and this sort of stuff. And basically they are here to prevent these script kiddies from basically scamming people. And let's moving on, we can see like there are these 4 5 configurations files where these headers are mentioned. So just make sure to change these headers to something, let's say X contact or X forward, for like whatever the headers you deem appropriate for your engagements. And RID parameter. This is a very unique parameter. I have never ever seen it anywhere but in the Gophish URLs. And this parameter is basically used to track the campaigns that we send out. So it is kind of like the UTM. Like if you open the links from one website to other, you might have noticed that there is something like UTM underscore source and stuff like that. So like UTM, which is used for tracking, this RID parameter is unique to Gophish, and it is also used for tracking the campaigns and the URLs that we send out. And this is mainly defined in the model test data campaign.go file, and with this recipient parameter. However, this RID parameter is referenced at least 13 times during the whole Gophish directory, and I highly recommend that you should change it as soon as possible before sending or before testing anything, because almost every threat researcher or every analyst worth their penny, they know that this URL, it is coming from Gophish because it has this unique RID parameters, and there are scripts and there are like monitoring tools that look out for this sort of behavior, like Cortex and like other tools, email gateway tools. They look out for this sort of stuff, like when they receive an email, they analyze the URLs, and if it's there, it's basically okay. This is Gophish. Let's flag it. Let's block it and whatnot. So make sure to change it as soon as you get the chance before even sending. And we will also see how we can do all of the stuff that I'm talking about. Moving ahead, this is the default TLS certificate. This certificate is actually generated whenever we start our GoFish for the first time, and this certificate is generated by default, and it is for the admin portal, like the portal that listens on port 3333. This is basically for that particular certificate. So in the instance, we want to expose our server to the whole world for reasons unknown. And if someone were to scan the certificates, they will come across this Gofish string and they will say, huh, this is Gofish, easy find, low hanging fruit, and bam. So just make sure that you use something like Let's Encrypt or some paid SSL service for generating, or do not expose your Gofish setup to the whole world. Just run it on localhost, use port forwarding to connect to it, and you'll be safe. So this is um, something we can do to prevent this, prevent the discovery of this particular SSL Unix string, not SSL TLS actually. And this is one of the uh, unique parameters, not parameters. This is one of the unique artifact that is available within the Gofish. And this is this custom 404 not found page. So this page actually occurs when we send a campaign and someone's looking at the other URLs, and the URL is different from the setting from the URL we send out the campaign with. So whoever is looking, they will be greeted with this particular page, or if they search for robot.txt, they will receive one other page. So if they receive this particular page, this is something that is very unique to Gofish. Like it is also there to keep the script kiddies in check and to ease the analysis of the researchers, threat researchers, and the analysts. So um, if how you are using this by default setup, someone is looking at the URLs, and once they hit a page that is non-existent, they will hit up upon this particular 404 not found page, and they will see, huh, this is something I have never seen. Like if this person were using Apache or Nginx, I would have received some other page, but I'm receiving this page. That means like this is Gofish, because it's simply saying, okay, 404 not found, and just start, no, nothing. So make sure that you change this particular 404 error to something that is very uh, common, like maybe change it to Nginx page, maybe change it to Apache error pages, maybe design something custom, or maybe if you're uh, conducting internal assessment, if you have some internal document server or web server, just make it look like that. So whenever they are clicking, they know, okay, so I have seen this before, so this must be our internal web server. So they are not suspicious. And all right, so this was for this particular stuff, and apart from this we have discussed a lot of things, but let's see how actually we can do all of this stuff. So the best way to do this stuff is like I'll have one reference there. So during my research, I was before I hit any of the actual OPSEC GoFish blogs, I was writing one particular script which will be doing all of these changes. But in the URL, I have included one reference, and we will see that reference very soon. So in that reference, you will see one particular um, script that is used for building your own customized Gofish, and you can also modify that script in order to um, make these changes automatically without having to manually go through each and every of these artifacts and changing them by yourself. So anyway, so to build a Gophish binary, you need to have Go language installed. You can get it from Go dot their default site. I think it's go.dev. The version requirement is not strict, but I'll recommend you use something that is very latest, maybe 1.20 or 1.21. Apart from this, you need GCC to compile it. So once you have installed the Go, so you have the GCC, you can simply navigate to your Gofish directory, and then you can simply run this command go build, and it will build your binary. And if you want some verbosity, if you want to understand, okay, I want to see what is exactly happening behind the scenes, you can add go build one space then dash v, and then you will be able to see the debugging verbosity information as well. So after you have made all of these changes, you have compiled the binary. If you are using something that is in the cloud, you can use SCP to copy it, and using SCP, you can simply transfer this binary to your server, your remote server, and then you can simply run it, the binary there, and um, do all the funs with this Gofish engagement. So here are the references, and the first one is for the Gofish official GitHub. Second is the SP Rocket Security, where I actually discovered one blog written by Nicholas, and please pardon me if I'm spelling your name wrong. So he wrote a very detailed blog on how to identify some of these artifacts, as well as he has a GitHub repo where you can have one script, one Docker file actually, where you can simply make the changes and run this Gofish in a Docker container. However, if you want to do some more customizations, what you can do is you can download that Docker file, you can make the changes, and you can simply run it in the Gofish directory, and your changes will be made. However, that script is, I believe it was made around 2 years ago, so it might not be very accurate. Like, the stuff is very good. You might need to do some modifications to it, and once you have done the modification, you can simply run this script, make the changes, and then you can simply compile this particular uh, Gofish binary and simply ship it to the remote server using SCP. And the last reference is a very good perspective on how analysts can detect this Gofish server running, and I highly recommend that you go through all of these resources, particularly the second and third one. These resources will help you understand these artifacts of compromise, artifacts of infection, and you will also learn how to detect, like, how if someone is running a Gofish instance, how you can run it, how you can detect it on the cloud. Apart from this, there may be some other resources, like actually there are, but you will find the hyperlinks within these blog posts, so I have not included those. And if I have missed any resources, feel free to mail us, on this particular mail addresses. So if you have any doubts, you can mail us to support@cyberwarfare.live, and for trainings, etc., you can run it at info@cyberwarfare. And any suggestions and stuff, please mail us at the support@cyberwarfare.live. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. And let me see if I can we get the slides. Yeah, I'll share the slides. So actually, um, um, I had a very good font. Our lead designer, he made a very good font that matches this whole theme. Unfortunately, when we uploaded to Google Drive, the fonts were not um rendered. So what we will be doing is we will be uploading this particular slide into the our website, and you can look it up into 24 to 48 hours when we will also upload the video for this particular session. So you will get the slides from our own website, and you can also get the link for the video if you want to watch in the future session. Can you also conduct a practical session? Um, yeah, we can do that. Like we can conduct a practical hands-on session for this. This particular webinar, I chose not to do it. Like I have a couple domains that I do not want to board. But yeah, like in the future, we might conduct something that is very hands-on. However, I will also um, recommend you to go watch our YouTube channel. So in our channel, you will see at least two videos which will provide you details on how to conduct a Gophish engagements. Apart from that, I've already mentioned there is one very good video on the Black Hill InfoSec as well. So combined with these three videos, I think you will be good to go. And on this conducting session, like let's see, like we might do that, like something that is very practical and hands-on. Can you please share the GitHub link? Yeah, so just a minute. So if you go to this sprocketsecurity.com, so if you scroll to the very bottom, you will see one GitHub link there. Like if you scroll to something around 80% of the blog, so you will see the link there. What are the IDs and software tools that you okay, like this actually um, differs from project to project. I mainly use like the IDs from IntelliJ idea, like from JetBrains, like IntelliJ idea for when I'm doing some Java stuff. Like I do not do much Java stuff. Like I suck at it actually. But for my daily drivers, I use VS Codium and PyCharm. Apart from this, like depends. Like for this GoFish project, I was using Goland, and it is a very good ID. Like so, yeah, these are the ones I use. What are the software tools? Okay. Can I use GoFish with my company public IP for client fishing? Ah, I actually do not understand this particular question. Like, are you asking like whether you can do it on like your company's public IP, as in like the local infrastructure, like the local workstations that you get, or something in the cloud, like and client, like that is very vague. Like client as in you are like fishing your own teams, or you are like a pen testing company, red team company, and you want to do this for your client. Like if you can provide some okay, not cloud, local infra. See, like you can do it, like if your threat model allows it, and if your different teams, your managers, like if they agree with it, you can definitely run it. I personally prefer to run on the cloud because it's very easy to set up the redirectors and the whole infrastructure in the cloud very easily. And if we are doing it on local infra, for example, like if I'm running it on my local company network, so I have to like allot some systems, maybe open port forwarding and stuff. So for me personally, I prefer cloud, but if this local infra setup works well with you, you can definitely go with it. Just make sure that you have the approval of your managers. Cheapest cloud for this activity. Okay, all right. Cheapest cloud is so um you can get like a digital ocean, like if you follow some links you might get $200 credits. AWS is free for 12 months, where you get like one linux, like not one linux instance, so you get 750 hours for Linux and Windows instances, so that is free. And then you get some redactors like CloudFront, and you can basically spin up a whole bunch of servers, and you can simply conduct your whole engagement and then shut down these servers. However, if you are like cheap in the sense, like if you are running a bunch of servers in the AWS free tier, so the allocated hard drive ELB limit is 30 GB. So if you exceed that, you will be charged. So make sure if you want to do it for free, just make sure that you are keeping an eye. But for the cheap, it's good. I think if you use 30 40 GB, you will be charged less than $10. But I'm not saying like it depends on how many servers and storage you are using. Apart from this, you can get GCP trial. I think GCP is for 30 days or 60 days. They offer you, I think, $300, and then Azure gives you 1 year, 12 months access to its server. So these are some of the alternate, like all not alternatives. These are some of the options that you can actually use. Just to make sure that you are not keeping your all of the eggs in one particular bucket, because that would be something very catastrophic if your infrastructure is like just give me 1 minute, let me sip water. Sorry. Okay, so it would be very catastrophic if you are having all of your eggs in one bucket, and if you're using only AWS and you haven't taken permission from them, and they decide to shut your infra down because of the malicious signatures. So just make sure that you are having a distributed multi-cloud setup, and you would be good. You would be good to go. AWS charge for static public IP hourly basis. Yeah. So AWS actually charge for the static IP, but only if it is not attached to an instance. So I think at a time you can create, I think, 5 or 6 elastic IPs at the most. I think the limit is 5. And if you have 5 instances which are using this IP, you won't be charged at single time. However, once there is one IP that is are not attached, it is sitting just sitting there, so they will charge you. I think it's, I do not remember the exact amount. I think it's $1 or some cents, like I do not exactly remember. But yeah, if it is if it is kept idle, you will be charged. But if you are attaching it to an instance and using the instance and the instance is up, I think in that case you won't be charged for the static IP. What are the additional utilities of Gophish? uh, Additional utilities, it's a phishing toolkit, so it is used for phishing. And that is something like I know, like if there are some other utilities I am not aware of, I will however do my research if we can use it for some other purpose. And if you ask this question over the email, I will get back to you once I have the answer. Hey, do you use Wireshark tool to listen to echo web frame package? I use Wireshark, but I have never used it. If you are asking in context to Gophish engagements, I have never done that. I, however, use Wireshark. It is a very good tool whenever um I'm analyzing some malwares, or I'm looking into some traffic that I want to analyze. So it is actually one of my go-to tools, and I really like it because of the GUI that it provides, and it is a very useful. So I use it on that context, but uh, I'm not sure what web frame is. But if your web frame packets, the packets that are at your level 1, level 2 of OSI model, so yeah, I do use it, but in context of Gophish, no. Okay, I cannot see any other question. Just down a bit. Do you use OWASP tool? Wasp is not a tool, like it is a cheat. It is not even a cheat sheet. It is a combination of list. We have the Wasp top 10 for the web vulnerabilities. We have for LLMs and similar stuff. So this is for the web apps. I don't do much web apps. Like it is something I am very poor. Uh, uh, there are some things which doesn't work well with you. So web apps is something of that weakness of mine. So I do not use second link. Okay, just a minute. Second link is 404. Um, just give me 1 minute, because I believe that the link is working, but in case, let me just give me 1 minute. Let me check. However, I tested the link, it was working very fine. Just a minute. Yeah, this link is working for me. So, not sure why it is not working for you. It's blog.cyberseeks.co.nz, and then it's identifying Gophish servers, and it is working for me. I'm not sure why it is not working for you, but however, you can use your Google food and you can type something like the site this cybercx.co.nz, and then in URL identifying Gophish servers. You might hit up other links, or you can use some other Google food queries to search for these. So you will be good to go. However, before uploading the um, PPT on our website, I'll make sure that every link is working, and it's still working. And I'll also try to see if I can also include some other links if they're available. And I'll also do one thing. So I'll also include the link for the GitHub repo of the Nicholas directly. So you can simply look it up. What are the cybersecurity lifecycle test and validate? I'm not a security engineer, so I'm not the best person to answer this particular question. What are the cybersecurity lifecycle test and validate project process? So, um, like, I'm not even sure about this particular topic. So, uh, maybe Google it up, or maybe ask someone who is into security engineering, or some managerial or PM position. So I think they will be the best person to answer this particular question. Hello, Cyber Warfare Labs community member in these regards. All right, I cannot see any more questions. Just let me go through it. Is it started? Can't hear anything. Can we get the slide? Can you conduct a practical session? GitHub IDs. Can Gophish, do you have resources? Do you have any resources that you recommend to view it? Yeah, so I have already mentioned couple of the resources, like a couple of the YouTube videos. Two of them I think are on our own channel. One will be from 2021 around, and one will be a bit later. And one is from Black Hill InfoSec. So these are some of the resources that I have personally um, viewed, so I can attest for their qualities. These days, you do not get a free domain. It is not always possible to buy a free domain for applications. Okay, so see, if you are mentioning free domains, uh, I have to presume that you are talking about the free norm. Yes, it got banned, and even before, not banned, like they have halted these services after a lawsuit filed by Meta. But even before they were working and allocating domains, it was never a good idea to use their domains for conducting a legitimate operations, because if you are using a free domain, everyone knows about it, GQ, ML, TK, these are like basically oops movement kind of stuff. So um that is something you should avoid, free cheap domains. Whenever you are conducting some sort of phishing engagement or social engineering campaigns, you have to make sure that you are staying as relevant to the client infrastructure as possible. Let's say for your and um, please everyone at cyber warfare forgive me. for what I'm about to say. So let's say if you are conducting a phishing engagement for our own company, and you are doing for cyber warfare, and we have a domain cyberwarfare.life. So what you can do in this case is you can try to register a domain that is fairly close to our ones. Like maybe you can try to register cyberwarfare.com.org, something like that, something along these lines. And apart from this, one of the very good strategies is like due to these phishing scenarios, what happens is to these gateways or these servers that we run, so they actually check the age of the domains, whether this domain is registered very recently or whether it is something that is fairly recent, or the registrant provide the registrars. So apart from this, one very good idea is to use the domains from the marketplace. And these domains, however, might cost you some bucks, but if you are an engagement and if you want to give your client something that is of real world value, if you want to simulate adversaries, so you have to spend some bucks on this. Like staying cheap and doing cheap stuff won't be doing justice to your client, because the attackers, they won't be looking for cheap and stuff, because these APTs, they are very sophisticated actors. Like they are far advanced than far advanced, and they have good brains than a good number of people. So you have to stay relevant, you have to stay objective, and you have to stay as close as possible to the client as you can. So do not think about saving bucks on an engagement. However, if let's say you are doing it for some testing purpose, or you are doing it for let's say learning purpose, or you are teaching someone, let's say you're teaching some students, you can go for some cheap domains. I think you can get a domain these days for $2 or $3, and you can conduct your whole assessment for it with this particular domain, and then you can choose to let it expire and never renew it. So you can go down that route, and that is one option. But however, for a real engagement, I won't recommend going cheap. Make sure you are giving the client the value for which they are paying. That is something we should always look for. Do you have any alternatives? It is not possible. Yeah, so all right. So what we can also do in this particular scenario is, if we are trying not to let's say buy new domains, we can register couple domains that are uh, let's say relevant to some service providers. Like I won't recommend you can get detected and blocked, because these providers, these third parties, they also detect for these type of domains that matches their own infra. So you can however have some domains that are very localized, and you can use it with these particular engagements. And you can also, maybe you can also notify the provider. Let's say you are doing cyberwarfare.com, cyberwarfare cyberwarfarelive.com. All right, so you can notify us that okay, we have registered one domain and we are using it to conduct engagements for our clients, so please note it and do not box. Like you can have something of this conversation with the third party providers. Like it is totally dependent on you how you want to approach it. These are just my own views, and my organization does not endorse these views, and these are my own views only. And you are free to follow them, or you can free to devise your own strategies and stuff for this. Do you use any add-ons and plugins? Again, this is question do you use any add-ons, plugins, or API libraries for cybersecurity test? Again, I'm not fully grasping this question. Like it is very vague. But if you're asking for the engagements, yeah, I do use add-ons, plugins, and API libraries. When I'm writing tools, I use the different libraries. So yeah, it is something that is always better than building. stuff from the ground up. Like you have some sort of base and you can build upon it. Will a recording of the session will be made available? Yes, the recording will be made available. It will be on our YouTube in 24 to 48 hours, and the same will be updated on our website. So just let me show you if you are able to see my screen. All sorry, just a minute. Let me minimize this go to prompt. It is covering my screen. Just a minute. So under the CW resources, there is webinar series, and you can already see this particular one, right? Right now you can see this register now option. However, once we upload, you will see something like this. So in the I will click once, you can see like download materials and watch now. So this watch now will redirect you to YouTube, and this download materials will redirect you to like it will simply download the files. So this is how you can watch the file, watch the video, and download the files. So pardon, like what are the additional utilities? These days do not get free domain. Okay, I think it is always possible. GitHub.com, Gophish, Gophish. Yeah, this is the any free options available for that. I'm assuming you asked this question for the domains, and this like I have already mentioned that you can get some sort of keep away domains. You can have them store away. You can use them very wisely and do not burn them. Like that is your one option. And free, I'm not aware, and still like I will personally will refrain from using any free resources. And when I say free, I mean free domains and free similar stuff like that, like open sources, free, and it's very cool. Like anyway, the watch now button was not working. Yeah, I think it shouldn't work ideally, like because we haven't uploaded the video yet. So once we upload the video, you will see the option in our website where I have shown you. So probably in 24 to 48 hours, you will um, get the email from us with your certificate, and uh, once you receive the certificate, you can check our website, and you can find these resources there. So I think this is um, all the questions. Just let me quickly go through once again. Hello, sorry. Zapon. I'm not sure what this Zapon is. What is agile? See, uh, this is again, this agile is going to the project managements and software developments. So again, like I'm not into SDs and the PMs as of now. So um, you can ask someone who is way smarter in this topic on from me. Like maybe search someone on LinkedIn, use Google Fu, watch videos, or you can also want to learn more about it. You can also mail us on the support at the rate cyberwarfare.live. So someone from our team with this particular experience, they will uh, get back to you if like your question is justified. Voice note and also okay, I think we have answered all the questions. Copy paste the references in the discussion. Let me see if I can copy paste. Just give me 1 minute. I don't think I can copy paste. So sorry for that. Okay, all right. Um, Nandini ma'am, Nandini ma'am, am I audible? Nandini ma'am, guys, can someone just say if I'm audible? Like, just can you just write in the chat or in the question that I'm audible, so we can just end this. Audible. Okay, all right. Thank you. Okay, thank you for the confirmation. So I think we should wrap up the webinar. So thank you guys for attending and listening to me. So all right, so let's end this. So again, just keep an eye on your mailbox. You will receive emails from us with the certificate as well as the um, other references as well, like not references, like you will receive couple emails from us with the certificate and some other information regarding the webinar. So that is that. And if you are interested in our trainings, our courses, you can simply drop us mail at info@cyberwarfare.live, and our team will get back to you with more information. Moreover, you can browse our website and you can look into some of the courses that we have. We also have a couple very good courses in the pipeline, so keep an eye out on the website. And we have one very interesting course that is launching this particular week. And if you are into the red teaming and if you are into the Windows stuff, so I think you will enjoy it. Anyways, let's end this webinar. Once again, thank you everyone. Good morning, good night, good evening, based upon wherever you are. Thank you. Thank you everyone.